Hello, everyone. Welcome to another masterclass hosted by the IAPC&M. I'm your host, Elena Nedeva, accredited practitioner coach, and I'm delighted to be here with you. As a reminder, this masterclass is recorded. To ensure quality of the recordings, please mute your microphones, but keep your videos on if you wish. The session today is going to be interactive, so please feel free to unmute yourselves when you would like to ask a question or put it in the chat. I will read it out loud for everyone, and our speaker can attend to that. You're encouraged to fill in your CPD logs with takeaways and ideas. And in case you don't have a template, I will insert a link to a copy of the IAPC&Ms, which you're very welcome to use. So please grab your notepads, sit back, listen, and enjoy. Today with us is Lucy Wooldridge. Lucy is an accredited master coach with the IAPC&M, holding a bachelor's in psychology with philosophy, NLP master practitioner, qualified life coach with a diploma in law of attraction, and NDA A-GB ear acupuncture practitioner. Lucy has been guiding individuals through transformative mindset changes since the year of 2000. With extensive experience in substance misuse treatment, the criminal justice sector, and the NHS mental health services, she now channels her expertise into her own private mindset coaching business from her home in Hampshire. Balancing her professional endeavours with a bustling family life, Lucy enjoys raising her 2 children alongside their dog, cat, guinea pig, and fish. The title of today's masterclass is Curiosity Creates the Client, and focuses on how to create clients using curiosity, creativity, and conversation. We will explore what client creation can look like when we are detached from the outcome and only focused on serving people. We will look at the 3-step approach to client creation, which moves away from selling and moves towards serving. We will look at ways to overcome the fear of rejection and how we drop our people-pleasing selves to become our professional selves. By doing so, we become the best coach for our clients, no matter where we are in our coaching journey. We will also walk away with an understanding of client creation without selling, strategies to invite people into coaching conversations, how to propose to a client without fearing rejection. So without further ado, Lucy, over to you. We're delighted to have you here with us.
Thank you, Eleanor. Wow, that's a good build-up. It's good that I can start the presentation, but thank you so much for that. And as Eleanor said, it is interactive, so I much prefer, as you can probably guess, conversation over tech. So coming out of comfort zone, doing presentations and using screens and PowerPoints and what have you, but doing it today to get the message across. But that's the thing. I can sit here and get the message across, but it's down to you as to what you take from it. So please do ask any clarification, any questions that you want to explore, if you want to explore any ideas further. So thank you very much again for having me. As Eleanor said, we're looking at client creation through conversation, not conversion. So I wanted to tell you why this is important to me. I've been working with people since the year 2000, but it was all creating the clients wasn't part of my job. So clients would just come to me because it would come through criminal justice or NHS or the charity. And so I had an endless waiting list of clients who wanted to work with me. And then when I set up my own business in 2020, it was quite difficult because I was quite naive and I thought that the same would happen. I thought people would just come to me. And actually, that didn't happen, and we had a pandemic instead. So I actually slowed everything down and I wondered, how am I going to coach people naturally, organically? I'm not techie, as I've said. And I did look at that, and I looked at different pathways, and this is the pathway that feels right to me. This is the pathway I've been using for the last 5 years, and I wanted to share that with you today. So the first thing that I wanted to do was remind ourselves of why we do what we do. Because if we can remember our meaning, our purpose, the reason why we want to be coaches, we then remember our passion and our love for connecting, our love for serving, and our love for helping people get where they want to be. So that's what we're going to do first. Then we're going to explore the ways to create clients without selling. And we're going to look at each stage of client creation using this format. And it's about connection, it's about invitation, and it's about proposing. Okay, so that's why we're here. And I would love for you to have a think about what drives you personally. It often comes from a deep sense of purpose. Now, Eleanor and I were having a chat about this before going live. And it's this purpose to serve, to connect, to build relationships, to help people with whatever they want help with. And we may have had personal or professional experience that have helped influence our compass with that. But outside of those experiences, usually what I found is that there's an innate drive to help other people. So just a little reflection, just to take a moment, just to think about why you chose this path to coach specifically. You know, you could have done anything else. What's your job title? What do you call yourself? And how do you describe what you do when people ask you what you do? Just if you just take a moment to have a think, and maybe you just write, if you've got a notepad, just write a couple of things down. Eleanor, feel free to join in. Okay, hopefully you've had a bit of a chance, but if you're still thinking, let me share a little bit of the reason I became a coach. So when I live in Hampshire, but I'm not from Hampshire, and you can probably tell by my accent. I was raised in the northeast of England, in a small mining town, which in the 70s, 80s, had no money, had to look at it, you would think that there wasn't a lot going on for us. There wasn't a lot of potential. There wasn't a lot of possibility or creativity. And that's the story that people told me. And that followed me through my childhood, not by my parents, but by the teachers and the caregivers and what have you. And I was even told I wouldn't be able to study psychology, GCSE or A-level. And I realised after a year of listening to that, that wasn't necessarily true. And I actually ended up studying psychology at university, and I forged my own path, working in alcohol rehab and then the NHS and finally executive management. But the core was driving me forward, because the core was, I was just curious. I wanted to know why people made certain choices. I wanted to know why people stayed on a path that was a default path or created something new. I wanted to know all the answers. And when I did my degree, unfortunately, it didn't give me the answers. And what I had to do was actually get out there and talk to people, because every person is different, obviously. But the point is, what I wanted to do was hold a mirror up to my own ceiling that other people had put on, that I'd kept over my head, find out what that ceiling looked like, remove it, and then do the same for everybody else. So I want to remind people that the ceiling doesn't have to be there. It's down to you to remove that ceiling and find out what is possible, the potential. And I remember this when I connect with people now. So even now, 2025, 25 years later, I still remember why I coach, and I bring that into the room. So would anyone like to share anything about why they are coaching? What brought them into the world?
I'm happy to share, Lucy, and start with. So I've not formally transitioned to a full-time coaching career. So a lot of the coaching that I do at the moment is pro bono, because this is just my way of giving back to the community. In my full-time job is a global talent acquisition manager for a large IT company. So I have been a people manager for the last 3.5 years. And when I first started, I was very much shy. I've attended all of the trainings on people management, how to lead people. And I remember like 1.5 years into my management, mid-level management position, I was actually quite sad that things were not working out, because with some of my direct reports, it doesn't matter what you tried. It doesn't matter how many trainings we attended, and how good you have set up the expectations for the role. Some things were just not changing. So I remember a moment when a former supervisor of mine said to me, "Have you ever come across coaching?" And at the time I hadn't. So this is how I got into it. And obviously I subsequently started an accredited 2-year diploma in coaching. And as I was discovering more through the course of my studies, and starting to practice coaching with my direct reports, I was able to witness things change. And what I really realized is that very often it's not even the formal conversations that matter with your direct reports, but it's those informal, near the water cooler chats that you're having. And often a simple question, or a simple question, open-ended question, can help you open the door of consciousness and curiosity of somebody.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. What I took from that, Eleanor, is that you were in this world where you couldn't really see the changes or the shifts happening that you maybe expected to happen.
Yes.
Even though in the title of your job title even had the word people. But it sounded very impersonal in terms of the systems and what have you. And what happened is you realised something clicked, that actually the change has to come from you. And
exactly.
you wanted to be part of the witness. You wanted to be a witness to other people's change as well. And it's not about change in environment, and it's not always about that. Sometimes it's just changing how you look at things, changing your perspective, thinking, okay, and thinking, actually, it's not working for me, so I'm going to do something that is as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you had it in your core to do something to help other people.
Exactly.
Excellent. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Sorry?
It's my pleasure.
Oh, good. Okay, I want you to also think about, as a coach, what is your job title? You don't have to share that right now, but I just want you to have that in your mind, because some of the things that I come across, and I had it as well when I first started out with my own business, I felt a bit, I don't know whether it was embarrassed or a bit uncertain or whatever, but there was some resistance in saying I'm a life coach. And I don't know why that is, but I'm in the UK. It's not as maybe popular as it is in the US or other parts of Europe. I don't know. But again, that might be a story I'm telling myself. That's not true. And it took me a while. Even when I left my last job, I didn't say what I was going to do. I didn't tell them, oh, I'm going to be a life coach. And I made it so important that it stopped me from telling people. Now I realize actually it's not really important what I tell people. So then I do tell people, because I place now so little importance on my title, because it's not about my title. It's about how I show up. So I just wanted you to think about that. So we're going to look at the 3-step dance. And this comes from, I'm going to give you a couple of book recommendations at the end, but this comes from a couple of books that I started when I started my own practice, I read certainly the first one, and it was a game changer for me. It helped me realize that it's not about anything else except coaching, and that was it. Connecting, building relationships. So we're going to go through the connect, the invite, and the propose stage. And the book, the first book, is co-authored. One of the authors is Steve Chandler, known as the godfather of coaching. And what he says is no coaching agreement was ever signed outside of a connection. So it's all about connection. And that's why I don't spend my time and my money doing ads and doing all of that. Ads can work, funnels can work, or tech can be our friend in this, but I'm not a marketer, I'm a coach. So I use my coaching, I use my curiosity, and that's what I wanted to bring here today. Okay? So the step one, this is the most important step. And I have to say that all the most important step if you're in that step, but this is actually the most important step. This is the step you will continue to use no matter where you are in the stage, whether you're at the invite stage, whether you're at the proposal stage, you are always connecting. So connection, it's all about curiosity. It's all about being present, and it's all about service. So think about connection. What does connection mean to you? And in the truest sense, connection is about authentically being open to get to know somebody, for them to get to know you, to build rapport, to build trust, to be curious, to not have any attachment to anything else. It's dropping attachment to outcome. All you're doing is getting to know somebody. And now, even if the only thing that you get from this particular part of the presentation is to choose being interested over interesting every time. And in one of the books, and I can't remember which one, but there was an example of a true story of, there was a big, I think it was like a presidential dinner, and there was going to be a vote to who was going to be president, and there was two candidates in the room, and it was all very, like a dinner, very sociable. And one candidate was regaling the room with stories of his experiences, of his qualifications, of his credentials, of how much he'd done, brilliant, fantastic, positive stories of how he'd helped so many people. And the other one just listened and asked questions and was only interested in being interested. So he just got to know everyone else in the room. Not many people got to know him very well because he was just being interested. And he was voted in. And that's it. Be interested. Be an interested observer. Be an anthropologist. Get to know people. Practice your deep listening and stay with them. Don't listen to respond, which is what most of us do. Listen to understand. I'm sure you've heard that expression before, because it's about them, it's not about you. Ensure empty. I found that really hard at first, because what I wanted to do was say, oh, I've got this NLP and I've got this solution focused thing and I've got that. It's nothing about that, because it's not about me, it's about them. And serve, don't people please. You can people please all you like, but it'll only get you so far. People pleasing got me to a great level, but it was going to stop me getting where I wanted to be. And don't listen to what your own mind tells you. So for me, I think, oh, I'm an introvert. I can't possibly go and speak to somebody I don't know. I can't possibly, and it's such a self-limiting label that I placed on myself. Because personality-wise, I might be a bit introverted, but my character, I've grown my character to have extroverted traits. And I knew that if I could be extroverted a bit of the time, it means I can be extroverted anytime. And I bring that and I create the professional self, or I create my connecting self, or I create my curious self, or my creative self. and I create who I want to be, and that's in that any time. So it's the most important step. So what I'd like you to do is have a think about who you would like to be connected with. The important thing about this is you are genuinely wanting to connect. It's not, oh, I think I could help that person because I've heard they're going through that trouble. It's nothing like that. It's not about getting a client. It's not about anything else. You're just looking to connect, build your relationships. Now, it can be anyone. It can be going to the shop. I had somebody come from Marketplace and they showed up and they said, oh, I'm really sorry I'm late and this happened and this happened. And nothing to do with trying to coach them. I just asked if they're okay, what's going on, and do you need a moment? What is there anything I can do? Do you want to have just take a moment? And we just started connecting. And it's getting in the habit. It's practicing who you want to be, because you are who you practice to be. If you want to use social media, and I use social media as well. So I have a look. I don't do it with people who I'm not connected with. I've got whoever on my social on Facebook. So there's loads of people who follow me, I guess. Well, yeah. And I don't necessarily connect with them, but the people who I want to connect with, I do. And I might just see what's going on for them and be curious. So it might be, anything such as, hey, I see you've got a birthday, happy birthday, any plans? Just connect. Oh, I saw you've got a new job, how's it going? Just connect. Oh, I see you graduated, graduation time of year. See you graduated, well done. What's your subject? What are you going to do next? Just be curious, be interested, and offer words of expertise as well without selling. So again, I'm just going to say I've got a Facebook group. I use it to connect. I don't do it, I don't do the selling thing, but I connect. But I'm also in local Facebook groups. So for example, I signed somebody on yesterday just because in a local Facebook group, she said she's having a really tricky time with her daughter. You know, she's young adult, really tricky time, perfectionism. And all I did was say, oh, that sounds really tough. I'm a mum too. I know what that's like. They don't really listen to us. And if there's anything that she can do, and I gave a few words of encouragement and left it at that. And then we built up a connection. And then I went on to invite, which we're going to come to. And yesterday she signed up with me. But that wasn't my goal. I was completely detached from that. I was just sending out words of encouragement, just connection. Somebody else, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. How do people do it? Has anyone got any advice? Do I need a counsellor? Just let them know they're being heard. Let them know that it's normal what they're going through. Build trust and connection and rapport. Okay, people sometimes call that breadcrumbing, but you're not doing that. I guess you are in some ways, but you're genuinely wanting to serve them. Just offer them some words of advice. So have a look through your social contacts and just think, who do I want to connect with? Who do I want to know more about? Not who do I want as a client? We forget to do that. And it's really hard to become detached from that. But you can be. Any questions on the connection? Great. Once you've gone through and you're building up the connection, you're building up a relationship, and that's exactly what you've done. You've built up that relationship. You're going to be in a better position to invite them for a coaching session, but only if you want to, not because you have to, not because of any icky desperation, just because you really want to serve them. and you are being present and you're being detached, and you might say something like, would you like a sounding board just to help organize your thoughts? Well, I'm a great listener, would that be helpful right now? Or if you want to help somebody congratulate and celebrate and acknowledge a win, can I offer you a gift of a coaching conversation to see if it can help you on your way? Are you open to that? If not now, keep it in your pocket. I gift a lot of my time, not to get a client, but I'm laughing because I'm imagining my husband saying, yeah, you give too much. But it's just to serve. And if you are detached from the outcome and you just trust this process of connection and building relationships. And I have had most of my clients that have come through are from that. Either they've come on and they've become my client, or they have referred other people. Say, oh, do you know what? I know somebody who can help you. But you're not even in it for that reason right now. But if you show up and invite them and treat them like they are paying you £1 million, and just, again, be still, slow down and really listen, most people are going to say yes to that. And put yourself out there. Community raffles, or just, I did some work in a couple of schools, and it's because I didn't worry about my job title. And I was at a moving up to year 6 parents meeting at my son's school, and the teacher there, the head of year 6, said, I bring a lot of resilience in the classroom. Now, my special interest is resilience. So then at the end of the meeting, I went over and I said, what does that look like? And we started talking. And she said, you seem really interested in resilience. And I said, well, actually, I'm a mindset coach and my special interest is resilience. So she said, well, I need to talk to you. You know, I didn't go way over there and say, oh, by the way, I've got a special interest in resilience. We started talking. And then she invited me in and I did a presentation to her year 6s, and, you know, and then I went to my daughter's school, different school, and I said, I've done this recently, would this be helpful for you right now, to the head? And the head teacher said, that sounds great, but no, what I want you to do is not talk to my children, I want you to talk to my staff. Can you do that? Yeah, I can't do that. That sounds brilliant. You know, so just own what you do. Step into it. Just be curious. If you wake up every day and going back to step 1 and think, who do I want to connect with today? And just take a few minutes, just quietly, somebody will pop into mind. And you can even message saying, oh, you came into my mind today, just checking in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Good. Do people do this anyway? Are people doing this as habit, do you think? Or do you think people are busy marketing and doing that other stuff? Or maybe a mix?
I can share some of my observations, Lucy, if this is okay.
Yes, please.
What you have raised actually a few moments ago about simple curiosity, taking a few moments to connect with anyone, right? Could be somebody from our community, from our workplace, anyone maybe in where you live, in your neighborhood, has actually strongly resonates with me, to be honest with you, because I have witnessed a decent number of coaches that are decent coaches, but they excel in creating business opportunities with large organizations and private clients because they focus a lot on connecting with people, you know, establishing these connections. So a lot of their business comes through referral. Whereas there is another group of coaches, maybe more of the introverted ones and the ones that are very focused on, and I realize I'm making a generalization. This is not intentional, just based on my observations to date. So these more of the introverted coaches that are so focused on the quality of the coaching that they give, that they provide to their clients, that have not actually spent much time on connection with people. Yes. So this is just based on my observations. But what you shared is so valuable. And really resonates with what I'm seeing.
Thank you. And that's my observation too, which is why I thought when I had this opportunity to do a masterclass, I thought actually this is what I want to do, because it's the start of it's the essence of growing your coaching business, you know, because if you haven't got the connection, like an authentic, organic coaching business, you know, and those people who go out and get the corporate roles to, you know, do your presentations and workshops, and they've done that based on connection.
Yes. In 99% of the cases.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. I was in Prague a couple of months ago doing some work for Prague, an international company in Prague, but that's only because of connection, you know? So it's connection. So whichever avenue you want to go down, it's connection.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Eleanor. The next step is to propose, and this step is sometimes the hardest for the most coaches, and we can't even speak. So we just miss it out together. And I've done this plenty of times. I've offered them a coaching conversation, and at the end I said, okay, you know where I am. So Neil's out, you want to, you know, and it's like, okay, has that been helpful? Okay, great. You know, I've like almost start sweating now thinking about it. But the thing is, we then, or we speak really fast, or we move into selling. We've done all of that lovely connection and building relationship, and then all of a sudden we hit them with, oh, and if you want to take it further, it's going to cost you this much money. It's like, what? What? Hang on. You know, we then just, we've lost the connection. Okay, so always only ever propose if you're genuine about it, if you genuinely want to work with somebody. Okay, and what I do is, to be honest, after the coaching conversation, many people just say, how do I continue? And that makes it really easy. Oh, that's so easy. Thank you for making it easy. But obviously that's not all the time. And if I don't want to work with them, or if I feel like I'm not the right person, I don't do anything with it. I say, right, maybe have some time to reflect. What's your takeaway points? And that would be great. And I wish them well, and stay connected. Always stay connected. But if you then do want to propose, I often just put, if it's me doing the proposal, I'll often just offer them a second coaching conversation. And so I say, okay, I'd really like to continue. Can I gift you some more time? And I'll coach them again. And then I ask them, would you like to know what it looks like to, I'm doing it now. Would you like to know what it looks like to work together? And it's up to you what language you use. But I would say, at the end after a natural end, I'd be bringing their words into that conversation. And I'd be saying, wow, that you really lit up when you talked about how important it is to have that work-life balance. And you told me the reason it's important because you want to, see your kids and you want to have this time off. And it's amazing. And, that resonates with me. That's why I do what I do. And you said it's important because it's your core value. And you want the freedom. And I would use those words if they use those words. And we can focus on all of that if you did want to work together. I can talk to you about what that looks like. Would you be open to that? You know? And with that, you're bringing to life a vision of what they think is possible. And you can tell them, honestly, you would love to work with them. But you will only work with people if it's 100%. So I often will just say to people, but listen, don't give me an answer now. Unless they say, no, I really want to. Yeah, great, let's do that. But most of the time I say, please don't give me an answer now. Have a think about it. And then I'll come back to you in a day or two. I don't give them too long, but I'll say, I'll come back to you in a day or two. Or you can come back to me, but by the end of the week, I'll circle back. And I say, if they say yes, and if they say, no, tell me now, what does it look like? How much is it? And even if they say, how much is it? Yes, I do want to know what it looks like. How much do you charge? Which is often what they do, right? Because it's money. And I say, okay, so let's just slow down. So you talked about this is what you would like to gain from it. You'd like your work-life balance, or you'd like your healthy relationship, or you'd like whatever it is. Only if you're interested in working with them. And you can explain that you'll only work with people who are 100% like, hell yeah, I want to work with you. So I would say something like, I know that you can achieve everything you want to do, and you can actually achieve it without me. You can do that. But I also know it's really something rather special to work with somebody to help you get there quicker, or to help you overcome the setbacks. And I'd be, honoured if that was me. And this is what I would suggest, so that you would meet whatever those goals are. And I would just tell them my program. And I would tweak it. It's your business. You know your program, you know your service. But practice saying it. Practice who you are being. You are who you practice who you're being. So I say something like, well, I suggest we work together for 3 months initially, based on weekly meetings for the first 3 weeks, followed by a reflection week or an implementation week. In the second, third month, it'll just continue the same pattern unless we think it needs to change. Because sometimes after the first, second month, people drop to fortnightly. In between sessions, I'm going to send you have access to my audios, and I'll send you tree books if you prefer a tree book over an audio. And any other material that's relevant to you, you'll have my personal number, so we can stay in touch. But you have to commit to reach out and tell me if you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling worried, or tell me about a win, and I'll check in with you as well. And we'll meet face to face or on Zoom, but at least an hour. And the cost of this service is, then you just tell them the cost. Maybe it's £900 for 3 months. My clients usually pay me monthly. But it might be £2,000 for 3 months. It might be £10,000, whatever it is, you just tell them how much it is. Don't feel free to think about it. And I haven't been known to say, if you really want to, but there's something stopping you, tell me what that is, and maybe we can work it out. But right now, just think about it. But practice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Now, I don't know how many people we have, because I can't see, but we have got the option of going to a breakout room to practice this. So you would literally just be practicing the words. Would you like to know what it looks like to work with me? And then, assuming you said all that other stuff, bringing them back to connecting with their goals, because you're not connecting just with them, you're connecting with their vision. And you can say something using your words. I know you can achieve your goals, and I'd be honoured to be your coach. Whatever words you would use, and the investment is, or the cost is, or the fee is, whatever words you use is, £1 million for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. How does that sound? But you use your language, but you have to practice it. I had a client who I said all of this to him, like, oh, so this is what you want to achieve, and and I kind of paraphrased his whole vision back to him. And he said, I can pay £1 million for that. And I said, that's great, that's what I charge. And we laughed, and I said, oh, I can charge you what I would normally charge, which is this. And he signed up, and we've been working together for 2 years, and he comes, then we have a break, then he comes back, and it's brilliant. It's such a good relationship. And that came actually from a gift that I gifted somebody. It was a friend of mine that I gifted, and she then referred him to me. He then referred 3 other people. Another person referred somebody. You know, it's all about connecting. Anyway, back to the propose. Eleanor, I don't know how many people we have.
Okay, so essentially we have myself and another lady currently online.
So would it be helpful just for the 2 of you, and I'm happy to go with what you think, or are you happy thinking I can actually do this? Maybe in my own time, but I can practice using the language. And I'm also thinking about the time as well.
Sure. So we are good with time. So it's 11 minutes past noon UK time.
Yes.
I'm very happy to practice with Rachel if she feels comfortable. So Rachel, please feel free to unmute yourself and share your thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine with me. I'm happy. This is the bit that I'm good with connection and invitation, but yeah, proposing it is something that I probably should practice more of.
Great, and I would like to put forward a recommendation, if I may, so that all of the subsequent participants can listen to this. Rachel, are you open to doing this with me and being recorded? And Lucy can actually witness us.
Yeah, we can try.
Lucy, what do you think about this format?
I think that's great. If Rachel's comfortable with that, that's perfect.
Fabulous.
And the thing is, it's just to be quite, brief. This is, don't overscript, don't overcomplicate, and don't let your mind interfere with it.
Okay. Rachel, would you like to start, or shall I give it a go first?
I can start. Do you want me to just go straight with the question of, would you like to know what it would look like? Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to go with it because it's not like I draft a speech or anything. Sometimes I end up just waffling on. So would you like to know what it looks like to work with me?
Yes, I would love to find out more.
So I work with people and I sit down with them and we look at their life as a whole. So what's making you really happy in life, what's making you really satisfied. And then we also look at the areas where you're just not feeling that fulfilled. And we take in a really holistic approach. So we are looking at your occupation, your finances, your relationship, everything that influences your mental health. And then we look at what is in your control and what's out of your control. And the things that are within your control, we look to see if we can make any sort of changes there to reach you to be more forward to where you would like to be. I usually suggest, to start with, I suggest about 6 to 8 sessions. My first session is just an hour and a half, usually free, and that's very much a getting to know session. Just to build up a rapport, to understand who you are and where you want to be headed. You might also not know where you want to go or what it is you want to be. You might be uncertain, and that's something we can sit and discuss as well. So my sessions are usually £50 an hour. If they were booked in blocks, then it's a reduced sort of price.
Thank you, Rachel.
Sorry.
And then I was just gonna give instructions for the last piece of the task, which is, Rachel, you can read out loud. I know you can achieve your goals and so on, please.
Okay, sorry. I know you can achieve your goals and I would be honoured to be your coach. So the investment is my pricing, I think, is what I already said. Is that what you mean by that part? Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go
So
over it.
yeah, sorry. I am I'm £50 an hour at the moment. And I usually recommend 6 to 8 sessions. How does that sound to you?
Perfect. Excellent. So Rachel, thank you so much, and well done. I mean,
thank you.
well done. Well done.
You know this. I don't like to just do a speech, because then it sounds too.
I know.
I know people narrate how they're going to sell themselves, but I don't like to do that, because I feel like it feels drafted and then it feels unnatural. So
That's right.
depending on what
it is unnatural, because you're sitting here in the screen and it is completely unnatural, but it's just getting used to the words. Can I give you some observations? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yes, okay. Yes, please.
So, and it might just be because of the exercise, but when you said, what I heard was an invite. You said, which is brilliant, your first session is an hour and a half, and it's like it is free, and it's a getting to know you. I would suggest that comes for the invite, and the proposal comes after that session.
Okay. Yeah, that
rather
makes
than
more sense.
jumping to a proposal to work with you for an hour and a half for free, then £50.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. No, that makes much more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because during that free session, which is an hour and a half, which is brilliant. Well done, Rachel. That's amazing offer. You're serving, people with this genuine offer of being present for 90 minutes, and it's going to cost them their time, not their money. It's a fantastic way to serve them. So my observations would be, again, you don't have to take any of this, but leave the proposal till after that session, because then you will use the that they use. So for 90 minutes, you've said to me what's important is and connect with their goal, connect with their vision, connect with the version of them they want to be, because that's who they want to grow into. So if you connect with that version, they're already there.
Yeah.
Then you just work back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think, yeah, that makes absolute sense. Because what I had originally been doing was offering like a 30-minute call, which I didn't feel like was long enough time. And that was really just for them to understand what coaching actually is. And it didn't feel it was enough time. Certainly if someone just wants to know what it is and they're completely unsure about the process of coaching and what it is, then 30 minutes fine. But to really get to know that person, and I think what it is and the support that they require certainly needs a lot more of my time. And even an hour and a half is never enough time to get to know somebody, but it certainly helps.
Sorry, Rachel, I interrupted, but yes.
No, you're fine.
But I don't do discovery calls either for exactly that reason. I just offer coaching conversations, because I can either tell somebody how to swim, or I can show them. And the two different techniques, and it's I would say content over concept. You can say, oh, we do this, and I can say, oh, I'm a resilience coach and I do that. It doesn't mean anything to them. But if you slow down and say, I don't want to tell you what coaching is, I can tell you like in a minute what it is. If you want to know, if you don't know what coaching is at all, I can just tell you. But what I'd like to do is show you. And I would like to give you that time to do without any strings, no strings, just to show you what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the direction I think I want to take it. Just with your whole presentation just resonated so much, because I am gifting a lot of my time to build up that connection, which I feel is more important and very much impact over generating profit. So it is wanting to build up that connection with people. And yeah, I'm probably the same as yourself. Technology is not, I'm not a marketing person. So yeah, I've been using my platform a lot for sort of education purposes, and I've been struggling to get the connection via technology. That's why I just prefer being out speaking to people.
So do what you love.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I think this has been a great reminder. Yeah. Good. That I've not. Yeah. To take that pressure off the marketing from a technology point of view.
Yeah. If you want to be a tech expert, be a tech expert. But you want to be a coach.
Yeah.
I did a workshop for my Facebook group, it was just a free workshop at the end. You know, you normally say, well, if you want to work with me. But there was a couple of things I've got in the pipeline for autumn. And I said, do you know what? Because people were saying, are you doing more of these? And I said, well, actually, I'm thinking about doing a membership where you get exactly this, but it's only £10 a month. And we meet as a group coaching. Just let me know what that is. So now I've got a list of people, and I can think, I do want to work with them. Because there's some people that you think, oh, I'm not the right fit.
Yeah.
So you'll know. And I'm just aware of time. So I wanted to overcome this bit. What if it's a no? What does it? No, thanks. It's just a no. It's just information. That's all. That's like a way to come into you. Would you like dessert menu? No, thanks. That's it. Just information. Working together right now is just not the right fit right now. And it's not a reflection of you as a coach. It's about reflection. And you'll need the no's. If you can see how successful you're being with your yeses if you've got no no's. You're like, oh, because the yes lives amongst the no's. So you'll have to get the no's in order to find the yeses. And you can just file it under, it's just a no for now, and that's okay. Who do I want to connect with? And still connect. You still genuinely want to connect. You've built a connection. That's amazing. Okay. So the key points: connect with curiosity, be the most interested person in the room, invite from service, be genuine and detached from outcome, and propose with love, not pressure. And take daily micro actions and send one message, one invite, short ones, and remember you are who you practice to be. I said I was going to recommend a couple of reading books. This resonates with me so much. And I came across this when I did a coaching course back in 2020, and The Prosperous Coach is an amazing book. Rachel, I might have it on a electric thing. If you wanted, I can gift that to you for showing up and being here.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
That's all right. If you take my email and email me, then I'll see what I can do to get that across to you. And the other one is more recent, is How to Get Clients, and that's just, again, a bit of gold dust from Steve Chandler. And then some contact information for me. Rachel, if you want to just take down my email and then or number or whatever, but then just get in touch with me. Tell me where I know you from, and then I can ping that book across to you if you'd like that.
Yeah, that would be great, Lucy. Thank you very much. I'm very new to coaching, so I say I'm new to coaching. It's probably something I've been doing all my life, but I graduated last year in mental health nursing. So my focus was very much on supporting people, I think, more out of a prevention or early intervention. I think, you see the struggles that people are facing, and I think there's still a bit of resistance there for people not to reach out for that support until they are struggling. So it's really taking a few steps back and looking at their life and their whole situation, and what's maybe impacting them now, that will potentially stop them sort of deteriorating any further. So so it's really interesting to hear some of the background work that you've done yourself.
Well, yeah, working with the mental health team and the NHS.
Yes.
Was actually early intervention. So that was,
okay.
I wasn't a mental health nurse. I came in for the early intervention, so the mild, the moderate, depression, anxiety, phobias, OCD, using self-help, and
I think it's really interesting. Pardon?
What you do is amazing. You graduated, well done, and
thank you very much.
You obviously bring a lot to the table.
Thank you. I think coaching is ideal for, like you say, it's not really something that's quite established here yet, but certainly as a preventative measure, there's a lot of people that come into the system, and I think there's a lot of time restrictions, and just a lot of restriction on the support that I actually want to provide to people. So the fact that coaching is an option there, when people come into the system, they're not necessarily requiring clinical treatment or psychotherapy, but I'm not denying they are still needing some form of support. And coaching is exactly that. So yeah, it's exciting, but I'm just starting out in the journey, but looking forward to it.
Oh, well done. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Eleanor, any more thoughts on what you've today?
I would like to thank you for this profoundly useful masterclass that you shared with us today. The takeaways for me are very valuable indeed. And the most important, which as I said before, strongly resonated with me, was to take time to connect. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me and having me. And thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
If there are no other questions, once more, Lucy, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to hosting you again with the IAPC&M, and take care.